So here we are, get more clients. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down leads, lack client retention, conversion, and profits. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients because most can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You'll learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, eliminate the lengthy, chaotic sales cycle, ignite your sales, and unleash lasting profits. You'll also have an opportunity to connect with me further to see how I can support you beyond today. Well, I received the usual connection request on LinkedIn. And I'm going, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and accept the connection request. And the next thing is I get some obviously sort of AI automated spam response asking me to connect, telling me about what they did and that they wanted a quick call. And I'm going like, yep, they spammed me. They're dead to me. I'm not going to respond. Well, a few days later, I get the next automated AI thing that comes through. Once again, tell me more about them and about their solutions and booking a call with me. And this continues. And so I find that my inbox or my message box on LinkedIn is constantly filled with spam. So this is spam that no one has taken any kind of effort to get to know me. They're just literally taking spaghetti and throwing it against the wall to see what the heck will stick. It's not going to stick with any kind of lasting quality relationship. So last week, I shared how to be a Ghostbuster, capture and convert clients. So today, I'm going to reveal fascinating and daring LinkedIn tips while never spam. LinkedIn is the must-have space for B2B sales outreach. So don't get me wrong on that. The biggest challenge is how many people get it wrong. Far too often, the outreach cadence moves from making a connection to getting married. So you're spammed. There's no attempt made to establish worthy intent and actually treat you as another human being. By the end of today's show, you will know how to create a genuine connection that initiates a conversation, how to pace your cadence in your nascent relationship, why giving consistent value establishes your credibility and integrity. The focus in LinkedIn must be on creating the foundation for your new relationship, which is then cultivated with value. Your goal is to move the conversation off of LinkedIn and into a human-to-human strategy or discussion, discovery call, potentially an in-person meeting. So let's talk first about your profile, because we really can't get into LinkedIn without touching on your profile. And I would be remiss if I didn't begin with your LinkedIn profile. It's important to optimize and update your LinkedIn profile on a semi-regular basis because things change. So every 3 to 6 months, you should be going back, looking at it, and doing some refresh. It's your online professional identity and personal brand. Your profile should demonstrate your expertise and experience while maintaining your approachability. It's the first place your potential prospects or connections are going to look to check you out when you're connecting with them, on LinkedIn. And often in a B2B environment, it's someplace that they're going to go and look at who you are, what you do, so that it can make a snap judgment on whether to, move forward with potentially listening to a show, downloading your freebie, whatever that lead magnet happens to be, or connecting with you on LinkedIn. The key here is that when used proactively, LinkedIn is an effective form of outreach. Now, there are tons of DIY videos for refreshing your profile. Now, I really like the one that Josh Elledge does. Now, Josh is a friend, but I'm going to go ahead and include the backlink in our notes because this show is not about your LinkedIn profile. It's just that you have to start there and you have to dive into really thinking like your client. What do they want, need, or lack? Why does it matter to them so they can? And make sure your profile reflects that. Who's your audience? Who's your ideal dream client that you are trying to attract? And why does it make sense for them to connect with you? So an important factor is your profile picture. And a fabulous free tool is called Photo Feeler. And you can upload your photo and use it with your planned LinkedIn title or your current title on LinkedIn, and then test that photo. And you want to be sure to make the title descriptive about the benefits you provide and or the problem you solve. And when you test your photo, you're looking for a score of at least 7 or higher. And they score you on several different profile aspects of your image. And as I said, it's actually free. You can judge other people's photos and get karma points. So once you've had at least 40 reviews of your photo, you've got a good feeling about knowing that that photo is a great photo to be using on your LinkedIn profile. Now, before you get started in your About section of your LinkedIn profile, spend some time on your keywords. Identify 10 keywords that relate to what you do, your industry and services and skills. And then you're going to use those 10 keywords sprinkled throughout your profile. Adding bullet points is an easy way to highlight this information. So that's your industry knowledge, tools and tech, interpersonal styles and skills, achievements and awards, languages, and a myriad of other skills and accolades that you've received. Include your unique selling proposition. And at the end of the section, include a CTA so that they can connect with you further. And you're also going to be using that keyword bank strategy for your LinkedIn posts. So here you might expand it out to 50 keywords that relate to what you do, your industry, services, and skills, and that relate to your product or service. So this goes beyond the hashtags that you can use on those LinkedIn posts. So it's key that those keywords, as I said, they relate to what you do, your industry, services, skills, and things that relate to your product or service and who you help. Now, a helpful hint, there's a tool called Seek Metrics, and it provides a free trending hashtag tool, and it allows you to download it into a CSV file. So that's a great way to associate that with your industry, skills, services, your product or services. Another point on LinkedIn is to be active on LinkedIn, including original post content. So you want to post every week with content that adds value, teaches, provides action steps, answers what benefits them by so they can. And consider removing the link preview and replacing it with a relevant image. Use as many available keywords from your keyword bank for each post. But now remember, it needs to make sense, and you're not just a jumble of keyword gibberish. And of course, tag relevant people and or organizations in your post. It's got to make sense, right? Now, I've only scratched the surface of updated your LinkedIn profile and maintaining visibility with your posts. And on a future episode, we'll maybe really take a deep dive in each of these, your profile and posting. But for now, let's get back to the topic at hand, and that's creating a genuine connection on LinkedIn. Is it just me? Because how many times are you spammed on LinkedIn? The DMs, texting, phone calls, emails. I cannot even count how many times a day this occurs. It's just become this cesspool of spam. And I'm going to say it again, LinkedIn messaging and how people are using it is just degenerated. And sometimes they get all of the above. Literally, I get somebody sending me a DM or a message on LinkedIn. Then they're sending me a text message because they've harvested my phone number. Next, they're actually picking up the phone maybe and leaving me a call. Next, they're sending me an email. I even had somebody the other day harvest my backup email. So they're sending it to both emails. And it's just downright icky. All right. And it's just the equivalent of feeling like I've got these cannonballs filled with sleazy sales sludge headed right at my head. And nobody likes it. Okay. So it's all about them. It's telling me about their services, asking me to jump on a quick call. And it really is just downright icky. And no one wants to be sold to. No one. So I don't know about you, but this daily deluge of garbage in my LinkedIn messages just can be a real negative about using LinkedIn. But here's the thing, LinkedIn is still a very powerful and effective tool. So you have to set that aside. When it comes to my messages, I really skim and go. And if there's anything that I pick up that even remotely looks like spam, then, I don't even look at the message, because it's increasingly rare that I have a message that stands out that came from a real human being who's interested in me and my business. I don't mean that person on the message says, oh, tell me more about what you do, or tell me more about your business. And anytime I get that or I see that, it's like, what the what? I mean, come on. Can you not invest 5 minutes to look at my profile, my recent posts, the link to my website? Because all of that in 5 minutes is going to tell you about who I am and what I do. What the heck? So that person, dead to me. All right. So, but let's get back to those first things first. You need to put, when you're working on this, your ideal client avatar episodes to work. So go back and listen to those, because you're going to use LinkedIn to search for your ideal clients. Now, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is an effective tool for prospecting your dream clients and your market segments, but it can be a pricey tool and you don't have to have it. So you can still do searches and find those people. Invest that 5 minutes so that you can initiate those conversations with the prospects like an actual human being. And it needs to be done in a systematic and strategic manner, because this is going to save you time, energy, and resources. You want to establish worthy intent from the very beginning and create the foundations for a relationship. And to do that, it's vital to have a reason for connecting. So I always customize my LinkedIn connection request, always. Why am I connecting with them? In addition, you need to invest the time to cultivate the relationship. So there are lots of different formats for communication on LinkedIn. There's the in-mail, there's the messaging, there's the voice memos. You can put a video in there. You can tag different individuals that deliver value and relevance. But it's key, and it's actually equally important, to pace yourself, So once again, you're not trying to put the cart in front of the horse, the old saying, because you're not going to try to get in there and sell to your connection too soon. It's just an immediate turnoff for most people, and it could result in permanent ghosting because, as I said, you're dead to me. So when we get to the connection request, let's take a look at that. And your request should occur after interacting with the prospect's content, or the prospect is a second-degree connection, or you're in a same group or the prospect. There's some kind of commonality. So I'm going to give you some examples of that. So it could be a second-degree connection. So therefore, you're going to pin back to who you both know so that it makes sense that you're connecting because you both know the same person. Commonality could be a group, an education, something that's listed in their profile. So that's another great one that we're both Six Sigma certified. When did you get your certification? How has it really created impact for you in your career and your life? And then that's a great way to start a conversation. You could be complimentary with a genuine reason of why you're connecting. You could have heard them on a podcast. You could have seen them on a LinkedIn panel. You could have listened to saw an article that they were quoted. Give them that and really point that out. It actually shows that you've spent a little bit of time invested in who they are as a person. Answer their why when you are asking to connect. So once again, why do they want to connect with you? So think about, why do they want to connect with you? And your tone should be positive and energized, and the request must be mutually beneficial. This is a win-win. So let's walk through the connection request itself. All right, here are my points. First off, use their first name and spell it correctly. Be aware of that auto spell check and make sure that their first name is spelled correctly. Explain why you're connecting with them, such as some of the things I've already told you before, but you're connecting with people in the beverage industry because you're writing an article on yada, yada, yada. And this is why it's going to be beneficial to network with them. So it's really key that why are you connecting with people in that industry and why it's going to be beneficial to them. What purpose does it serve? Another point you could do is that you're a fan of their content. You've seen them speaking, you've heard them on a podcast, you read an article, but you found value in one of their materials. Now, once again, this must be a genuine sentiment. You're part of the same group. So there's so many different groups on LinkedIn, and this is a great way to make those connections. And you can use that also as a search parameter. But call out if you've seen or engaged with their content from within the group, that you really liked a post that they had and you commented on that, and you further that conversation along because you'd find that the conversation with them and the connection valuable. So once again, what matters to them? And I've already talked about that, mutual connections, and mention who that mutual connection is and how you know them. And you're curious, how did you first meet them? And so it's a great way to ask a question to get that conversation going. And then tell them that you look forward to connecting. So here's an example. Hi, Nancy. It was a pleasure and honor to meet you today on the OSA call. I love connecting with women who share their passion and lift us all up. Your story about working with your mom was wonderful. You are lucky to have her so active in your life and work. All the best, and I'm excited to connect with you, Lynn. I told her where we had met, something that I admired, and then how we could make that connection work. Now, once you're connected, that's when you're going to begin to initiate a dialogue. So I want you to think about this really carefully because this is so important. You need to pace your cadence. And this begins with your journey to build rapport. This really is the beginning of that journey to build rapport, to move from that spark and that connection to rapport. And you want to build value every step of the way. And that requires a paced approach. The day after connecting, you can send a brief voice memo and let them know that how you're excited that you've connected. Now, using that voice memo on your phone is you need to use the LinkedIn app, but this is so important because if you've ever skimmed through your messages, a voice memo is going to stand out like you wouldn't believe because so very few people use the voice memo. And it is an incredibly powerful feature on LinkedIn. So use their first name, tell them it's great to be connected, and briefly explain why you appreciate the connection. Now, try to keep this to about 2 sentences and under 30 seconds. It's just a brief thanks for connecting and why you're glad that you've connected. Now, begin to monitor their posts. It's very easy for you to do, and especially their original content. If they're just sharing something that's already been shared, that's not the same. You're really looking for what they're sharing as original content, their thoughts, their things that they're sharing out to the audience, and something that also has meaning to you. You want to go ahead and like and write a genuine comment, tagging them in your content and your comment. So when you can actually start that conversation there, people will notice when you're commenting on their posts. And if it makes sense, you can also then share that to your audience or your LinkedIn connections. You want to be able to add those valuable resources also that you've developed for your outreach. When your prospect has responded and indicated interest, you can let them know that you have a resource that they might find useful, and would they like you to send that along? Once again, that's a great way to send that on a voice message. And you can also ask them questions regarding the types of introductions that they are seeking, such as speaking opportunities, being a guest on a podcast. And when you get a response back, you can make introductions. And that's incredibly valuable to your dream client. Now, here's a bonus tip. If you have a podcast or do live interviews, like we're right now, we're doing that as a live, or you write articles with quotes, you have an additional avenue to pursue as you're building this rapport. It's easy to see if they're an active podcast guest because you can search their name on Apple Podcasts, and listen to an episode so you can reference it when you reach out. Once again, a voicemail is a great method, a voice memo, I should say, within LinkedIn, because we're talking LinkedIn here, to put the human back in the equation and stand out, because so few people are using this. Demonstrate the value that you'll be providing by letting your connection know that you're going to be sharing that episode that they had guested on far and wide. And when you do share that on LinkedIn, tag them. Make sure you're tagging them, telling them people why they should listen to the episode, what you found so intriguing about it, and about the guest. Let them know why they would be a great guest and how you plan to celebrate them. And that can be a guest on your show, a guest on your live, to interview them, to pull a quote for an upcoming article that you're writing. And this is the same whether it is a podcast, a live interview, or an article. It is a gift that keeps on giving, because once these things are published and they're out, people will be able to find them. And it's incredibly valuable, not only for their authority and leadership, but for their SEO and for expanding their own audience. LinkedIn itself has many avenues for building rapport with your new connection. You can hold events, panel discussions, lives. You can start your own newsletter feed. With any type of event, you can invite your connections to the event, and this includes your dream clients. Obviously, getting your dream clients to interact and engage with you. And this includes leaving a personal voice message, once again, and sending them the link. So saying, hey, Nancy, I've got my next competitive edge peer-to-peer mastermind is coming up. I'd love to have you come. I'm going to send you the information right after this, so you've got it right at your fingertips and you can register for the event. So whatever path you choose, it should follow your sales strategy to connect and build relationships with your ideal clients, delivering value along the client journey. So this is all about giving value. And at the end of the day, value is in the eyes of the beholder. Some connections could care less about being a podcast guest or being quoted in an article. Now, looking at their LinkedIn connection, their profiles, their activity, and their external links is going to provide you a lot of clues about things that do matter to them, things that would be something that they would value. Think about their personality code as well. What's being revealed in their profile, in the posts that they're putting out. Go to their website, look at those for clues and what would appeal to them. And how can you put that personal into your own discourse? So now I'm going to say this is a word of caution for many of you. Your ideal client may not be active on LinkedIn, or they may not even hang out there. So that means they may have a profile, but they're not active there at all. So a quick clue is to see when their last post was. Not everyone is actively posting, so that's not a deal breaker. But the thing is, if they do respond to your voice messages specifically, because those are real human to human and people tend to respond to those, you're going to have a much higher response rate, then they may be active in that LinkedIn space of looking at their messages. So the key through all of this is you do want to identify the people that are hanging out on LinkedIn, that the connection and pursuing that nascent relationship there makes sense. And you must consistently deliver value without pushing or going, I should say, too fast. It's not a race. So today we've covered updating your LinkedIn profile, making connections, cadence, and building rapport by delivering value. Everything is formed from your sales strategy foundation. All the things that we've been talking about on every episode: client thinking, the ideal client avatar, your client journey, and building relationships. If you don't know what your client is thinking, you're not going to be able to deliver the right message to create the connection. And without knowing your ideal client avatar, you're wasting your time and resources. You need the direction and clarity to focus on your dream clients, delivering the right message to the right audience. Your client journey is your roadmap about what value to deliver when, leveraging your existing assets to drive engagement and build rapport. And ultimately, it's about establishing a human-to-human relationship to move the conversation out of LinkedIn and into a discovery call or strategy session. Your sales strategy is the master plan for your who, what, where, when, why, and how. And LinkedIn is one of the vehicles you can leverage to get more clients. So thank you so much for tuning in. My purpose is for you to get more clients. Bottom line, don't make this harder than it has to be. Sales should be a win-win. And on behalf of Petite to Queen, I've carved out a limited number of time slots to invite you to hop on and ignite your sales call with me to see what's working, not working, and what you would love to have working. I'm going to see how I might further support you in effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization. The fastest way to success is to assure people know that they matter. And the best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. You'll find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Today, I revealed fascinating and daring LinkedIn top tips while never spam. And the absolute top tip, use your phone and the voice message app that's available on the LinkedIn app. All right, you're going to stand out from the crowd. And the key is for you to implement these steps, as I've mentioned, to stop wasting time, energy, and resources. Now you have the opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success. Say yes to you and get on a call with me. I'm truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut with the right support. Go to Petite to Queen, P to Q, I should say, p2q.link/win-win. That is P, the digit 2, q.link/win-win. Our Get More Clients programs are designed for immediate, on-the-fly implementation and individuals committed to taking action to move their business forward. To learn more about our Get More Clients programs, you can visit our website at petitetoqueen.com. You can also connect with me on our website or on LinkedIn. And to stay current on all of our insightful advice, breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode of Get More Clients, you can sign up for our weekly Wisdoms newsletter at petitetoqueen.com. Now, next week on Get More Clients, I'm going to share how to build presentations that rock and reflect the true you. So I will see you next week on Get More Clients.